Yo,
What's up?
Kyrie Irving, he wants to leave.
Where's he going?
I don't know. I
Where's
don't
he
know.
gonna head to?
Say, hey, Joe Tsai, fuck you, dude.
Eh, he's
I'm
out.
out of here.
He's done.
He's out of here.
KD told him he was better than LeBron.
Yeah, get up out of here.
He sold a lie.
Yeah, it's total lie. What's going on, y'all? Day one pod. You already know what it is. I'm your boy Kyle, filling in for Anthony because he's not around. This is my brother Brandon, better known as B Rad.
The official.
Um, yeah, unofficial,
Yeah, unofficial. Whatever you want to put it. I always put it
whatever you want to
official
put.
because I mean, like,
That's officially your name.
that's
You got to
officially my
change.
name.
You have to change your name to B Rad.
B Red. What's your last name? 13. You know?
13. Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. But no, Kyrie Irving requested a trade. Had no idea it was coming. Um, it's a week before the trade deadline. Trade deadline's only on, I believe it's the 9th, next Thursday. So lots to talk about with that. Kind of came out of nowhere. Um, I'll give my thoughts on it. It's kind of stupid if you ask me, because we've seen so far this year with Kyrie and Katie on the court, they've been really good. They went from I want to say it's the ninth seed in the play-in to all the way up to the 2 seed when they were both healthy. I mean, Kevin Durant got hurt and they slipped a little bit, but I mean, this is probably his best chance to win right now when you consider all the teams that are probably suitors. Um, yeah, so looking at it here, um, requested a trade. Apparently, it was over a contract dispute. So he went in, he wanted to do contract negotiations. His agent mentioned it earlier this week. Um, and apparently the Brooklyn Nets gave him a deal that he didn't like. It was a lot of guaranteed money, which is what he's looking for, but there's a lot of stipulations, games played, um, things in the media, so he could lose a lot of money if he basically is himself, which isn't necessarily the greatest guy in the world. Um, but yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to break down a couple trade ideas, some teams, um, look at some packages that some teams are willing to give up. I don't know. This shit's out of the blue, and we're just gonna react to it. So, what are your thoughts on it, brother?
Uh, my main thing is like, what's gonna happen to the Nets if Kyrie gets this trade? Where's he gonna go? I mean, and stuff like that. Because, like you said before, they were playing really well. KD got hurt, which is normal. He's always hurt. Um, but not Kyrie was putting up big numbers. His keeping up at his averages and stuff like that. And yeah, it really was out of the blue. I wasn't expecting to see something like that. And I don't know. It doesn't shock me because he has done stupid shit before, and we've seen it, and everybody's seen it. So it's really all on where he wants to go and what happens.
Yeah, and you brought up the numbers. This year, he's averaging 27 a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists on his best shooting efficiency so far in his
Yeah,
career. He's well above his averages. His PER is right about the same, um, and that's impressive with a guy like Kevin Durant in your team. Usually, your PER takes a hit.
yeah.
Um, a couple of teams that I think off the jump are going to be interested 100% the Lakers. You look at their roster, they need elite guard play. They have no other good guards. Patrick Beverley's mid. He's only there to piss people off. Dennis Schroeder only plays well when he wants to. Um, they shipped off Kendrick Nunn for Rui Hachimura, which I think is a great add to that team. Add shooting, add size. But yeah, so the Lakers are one. There were rumors this last offseason about the Miami Heat.
I'd like to see that.
Yep.
That's number two. That's number two for me right there.
Kyle Lowry hasn't really lived up to the hype that there was when he got there. Um, he's doing all the stuff on the defensive end that he said he was. That I mean, he's been doing his whole career, but there's been very little offensive output. Very
I
little. He
see.
was.
It seems to be that Kyle Lowry's a little bit of a like inconsistent. Like he'll have big games where he'll go off, and like you'll still have Tyler on the court, you'll still have the other main players on the court, but for some reason he wants to go off, put up numbers, and then for the next 3 4 games they play, he doesn't even come close to that.
Yeah, he's been inconsistent. He's been hurt, and remember, he's like 30. I
Yeah, he's
believe
getting old.
Kyle Lowry's 36.
He's not getting old,
Um,
but he's getting worn out in the league at this point with all these new people coming up that are bigger and better and
yeah,
more consistent.
that's another thing too. When you actually look at Kyrie Irving, there's not a lot of places for him to go because there's so many good point guards out there. I mean, you look at a guy like De'Aaron Fox for the Kings, hell of a player, puts up like 25 and 7 a night. I'm not even sure he's a top 10 point guard
Yeah.
when you look across the league. So there's a lot to think about, especially if you're Miami. You know what I mean? Bringing in a guy like that to play with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, it's a workaholic city. Hopefully that rubs off on Kyrie, but we've seen what he's done in 3 different places. I'm not so sure. But no, so the Heat are one. The Mavericks are rumored to play along with Luka. If it were me, I think that's probably his best opportunity because the West is wide open this year.
Yeah.
The Heat are probably the second place for him to win, but I'm not so confident Kyrie Irving with the Heat is as good as the Bucks or the Celtics or even the Sixers. So the Mavericks have some pieces. I'm not too sure how Kyrie and Luka would play together, but there was rumors of that last offseason too. And I'm sure there's a couple more we'll get into when I go into breaking down some trades, but those are pretty much it. There's not a lot of places. It's not so much a place where he'll fit. It's also places that want him and are willing to extend him. Because with all the off the field shit, off the court shit that's been happening the last couple of years, I'm not so sure people want to give him money. His
That's
home
what
cap, yeah.
that's what I heard you say when you were reading about the stipulations. What are like the games played stipulations? Like how many
Game,
are they offering?
game.
Or you know what I mean?
There's no money based on like there's no number that's been put out there, but basically if they're introducing stipulations, it's most likely because think about it, in Brooklyn he's randomly left the team for a couple weeks because he's upset about something, or
Yeah.
like this past year with the whole the movie scandal on his Instagram, they benched him and suspended him for a few games. So basically they'll put a contract in and they'll put stipulations of games played. So say he plays 76 out of 82 games of the season, he'll get the most money. If he plays
Yeah.
50, he won't get paid much
See, I
because a
don't
lot of
agree. I don't agree with that, like being able to just walk off the court or not show up to your games. Like, bro, that is your job. That's what you're being paid to do. Show up and do
yeah.
what your job
Mm-hmm.
is. Like
Yeah.
if we can't trust you to show up to our games and you put up the numbers that you're willing to
Yeah.
do, bro,
Mm-hmm.
go. Like on that's like that whole thing that happened with Kawhi, like what was a year, 2 years ago, where he
Yeah.
just didn't play, and then and now he's playing with the Clippers. It's
Yep.
stuff it just doesn't make sense to me. Like that's your job. That's what you're paid to do. That's what you wanted to do. So do your job.
Exactly. And like we've seen a lot of people, a lot of players leave for short amounts of time, whether it's family matters or things like that, but
That's
not
different,
for yeah.
Not to
Even
just
when even when Kyrie Irving is in the building, the the biggest story is never basketball. It's something going off the field. You don't hear about shit like that in Milwaukee or the Warriors. The Warriors aren't a good example after Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole in the face.
yeah, but again, that it still had something to
Yeah,
do with what's going on the court. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
I guess.
I didn't when you first mentioned to me that Kyrie requested a trade, I didn't know that they put out like it was a contract thing. I was thinking maybe he had some internal beef with coaches or the head or his teammates or something. But that totally went out the window when this came out. So
Yeah, and honestly, that's a possibility too. This broke maybe 2 hours ago, so
yeah,
there's a lot that's gonna go on with it. Um, but no, I want to get in here. I want to get into the trade machine. I want to break down some trade ideas. What do you want to start with? The Lakers?
I personally don't see him going to the Lakers at all. I don't see him playing with LeBron again.
You don't?
No, I don't. I
We'll
don't
do
think he
the
would. I don't know why.
we'll do the Lakers last. We'll start with the Heat.
Yeah, well, yeah, we could start with the Heat.
Yeah, so let's go in here. So there's a lot of things that need to happen. The money needs to match. The assets have to be good enough. Here's the only issue with building a trade for a Kyrie Irving. Nobody knows how much teams are going to be willing to give up because
Yeah,
Kyrie Irving is a hell of a player. He's a top 20 player in basketball, but you also have to carry the baggage of him too. You have to
yeah.
bring the baggage with you. So let's
The
look at this.
media.
Let's look at Kyrie. Trade to the Heat. Start with that. I think Kyle Lowry has to be involved in the trade,
Oh, no doubt.
100%. So you're looking at you need about $8 million to cover that because Kyle Lowry's making 28. Kyle Lowry's making 28. Kyrie's making 36. So
To
let's
throw
see.
up
They
another
got
player.
guard play, and let's look at what the Nets also need. They need size. So maybe
Bam's off the
Dwayne.
table.
Yeah,
We're not trading Bam.
Bam's off the
Can't trade
table,
Bam,
and
yeah.
the money doesn't work. So we're looking at
Yeah,
someone making the $8 to $4 million range. I think Dwayne Dedmon needs to get thrown in the trade.
yeah,
Um, and that'd be really good for the Nets. Good backup center, block some shots, do a little bit of what Nick Claxton does when he's on the bench.
yeah.
So I believe that money matches up. I do think the Heat will have to give up picks. I'm going to say 2 first-round picks, a 25 and a 27. So let's try it. Failed. Consecutive draft. Okay, hang on. Let me look at this here.
Oh, you can't do it.
No, I took the wrong trade here.
It happens.
So let's get rid of 23. Undo trade. And
Bring him to
let's
Oklahoma.
try this trade here. There we go. That's probably what I would give up for Kyrie if I'm the Miami Heat.
Yeah,
Kyle Lowry, Dwayne Dedmon, first round pick in 2023, first round pick in 2027. And the other issue with it too is the Nets aren't going to want a lot of young players and draft capital back. They're going to want solid role players that can play along Kevin Durant so they can still compete. So I think this does both for both teams. You get Kyle Lowry, who's a good point guard in this league. He's not what he used to be, but good ball handler, good tone setter for the locker room. And Dwayne Dedmon's they just need size. They have no power
yeah.
forward play. They have one center who's young. I think this is good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad.
No, maybe the Nets ask for more, whether it's maybe a couple second round pick swaps or another young player. But
Because the only other player I could think of is maybe Martin. But
yeah,
he's kind of, like if you swapped Martin out for uh Lowry or added him, but he can also he's kind of a crucial player with the Heat. He's good for second chance points and stuff like that. So it's kind of rough on what you're doing with him.
let's see
But
if that trade
you
works.
bring in Irving.
Mm-hmm.
It's hit or miss really.
Yeah, Caleb Martin works. It
Yeah,
does work. The money matches. And the Nets actually save some money doing that. So I could see it. I could
yeah.
see
But
it. My only
if they want a more key player, they probably would go with Lowry. But
yeah
he's older. Martin
yeah
isn't.
yeah, and Dwayne Dedmon's 33, where Caleb Martin's only like 26. I want to say, but
Yeah,
this
he's still got some years.
yeah, I think there's more raw value in the trade with Caleb Martin. My only concern is they don't need another wing.
Yeah.
They need a center, and
Hmm.
they're not good. The Nets aren't gonna make a trade just to make a trade. They'll hold on to his ass.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a world where he just doesn't get traded and he walks in free agency this
Yeah.
offseason. So All right, I like that. Kyle Lowry, one of Dwayne Dedman or Caleb Martin, or fucking both. They could both get thrown in there, and maybe two
Yeah.
picks. All right, let's reset here. What's another team?
Well, you said the Mavs.
The Mavs. Let's go to the Mavs. Okay.
There's always Oklahoma.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, where did Kyrie go?
Fuck it. Send him to the G League, dude.
Facts.
Like if
Really?
honestly, like if he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
find a trade and they do keep him or he does sign a contract after all like the shit that he's been putting them through, I would send his ass to the G League.
You
But
can't.
that's just me, you know.
He's
I'm
just
an
too good.
asshole, so
He's just too
yeah.
good. All right. What would the Mavericks have to give up? I think Davis Bertans to make the money work. Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah.
That's that's $34 million a year. So those two would work. And they probably have to give up a young player because these guys aren't really gonna do much over there. So let's say they're not gonna give up Josh Green. Oh man. Let's
Maybe a
throw Jaden
pick,
Jaden Hardy. I'm thinking, yeah, and a
like a
pick.
like that 2027 first round, maybe later or earlier.
Let's try this. This trade works. Kyrie for Bertans, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jaden Hardy for youth,
Yeah.
and a first round pick. I mean,
The issue with that is the Mavs are giving up a lot more than what they're receiving. I mean, they're giving up what is that, 3 players for one and a
yeah.
pick?
I mean, that happens a lot, though. You look at what Rudy Gobert got traded for.
Yeah, yeah, true.
He got traded for 5 players and 7 picks just for Rudy.
Mhm.
That trade's not. And what this does is, what's nice about this trade, this doesn't really give up a lot of depth for the Mavericks. Tim Hardaway Jr. is the only guy on that trade that's really playing any minutes. Davis Bertans is in and out of the lineup because he's only there for shooting, and he hasn't been a good shooter in like a year. The
Yeah.
last good season he had was with the Wizards in, I want to say, 2020. So Davis Bertans to make the money work. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a good to really good role player. And then Jaden Hardy, just so you get a young guy back and a first round pick. Um, Again, the question is that enough for the Nets? Maybe they might have to throw in another pick. But I don't see how the Nets will get much more than this because they're not going to give up Spencer Dinwiddie because
Yeah.
they need a point guard off the bench. They're not going to give up Josh Green because he's got too much upside. They're not going to give up their bigs. So
It's kind of right like giving up Kyrie or trying to trade for Kyrie is not always going to be a win-win in either
no,
for either teams. I mean, cuz like the Nets are giving up one of their star player other than, KD,
yep,
and whatever whoever trades for him has to give up, it's going to end up giving up at least 2 players or at least a few picks, and it's going to be a very unbalanced trade trying to trade for Kyrie.
I agree.
And that's if anybody's willing to even do it, which I'm sure there's going to be teams that are going to throw trades out there that, won't
Mm-hmm.
even that will just be like if the Wizards threw up a random trade,
Yeah,
cuz I don't know who would really
that
go for it right now this late into the season with a big star player like that. It's going to be a very unbalanced trade.
yeah. It's my whole thing is there's not going to be a bidding war because teams aren't going to be willing to keep overstepping other teams for Kyrie, knowing the baggage. Could he get traded to these teams? Yes, these are just the most rumored ones. But Kyrie Irving, regardless, if you look at basketball, is incredible. He's the greatest ball handler to ever touch the floor. He they're going to be better. The team that trades for him is going to be better no matter what they give up.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. So
That ball handling comment could be very well argued
it could,
with Iverson. Isn't he
yeah,
considered the best to ever touch the floor ball handling?
yeah, but
One of the best.
yeah,
I wouldn't say
Iverson.
Kyrie is the best. I'd say he's one of them.
The four best ball handlers in history. if you ask most people that watch the sport, Allen Iverson, Kyrie Irving, Jamal Crawford, and Steph Curry.
Yeah.
They're the four greatest ball handlers. Just to me, the creativity at which Kyrie Irving does it is insane.
Yeah, he
He
completely
just pulls
changed the
shit.
game.
He just pulls shit out of his ass, and it's a
Hmm.
bucket. Whereas Allen Iverson was more, he was more tight with his crossovers. They were more lethal consistently. Whereas Kyrie, it's not about the ankle breakers. It's just whatever gets him to the rim the fastest and with the less pressure,
Yeah.
and it works consistently. So that
You know,
I think
Allen
he's
towards the end, I mean, Allen Iverson became kind of predictable because, people started catching on to what he can do and what he's going to do.
yeah
So with Kyrie, he's kind of all over the place. I mean, he could really do anything
yeah
if
and
if
yeah,
he has to.
and I don't think it's so much people were catching on to him. I just think as he progressed, when he first came in the league, nobody was ball handling like that.
Yeah.
Once the Jamal Crawfords got in the league and the Baron Davises and things like that, once they came into the league, it made him not look as great because a lot of guys can handle the ball the way
Yeah.
he could. But but yeah, let's move into another team here. Uh, just trying to. There was one other one that I had in mind. Oh, the Raptors.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Play
I
next
don't
to
know if
Fred.
they'll. I don't know if they'll do it, but they could definitely give the Nets the most. So we're gonna do it here. We're gonna go Kyrie, and then we're also gonna put Seth Curry in that as well.
Seth.
So there are rumors that the Raptors want to break up their core. They want to move OG Anunoby. They want to move Fred VanVleet.
So they want to move their original core.
Yeah, they want Pascal to stay there because he's still young. They want Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is becoming a
Yeah.
superstar in front of
Oh,
our
no
eyes.
doubt.
You can't move a guy like Gary Trent. There's not a lot of guys like him. But let's throw in Fred VanVleet. So outgoing, we need another like $20 million. OG Anunoby right there.
OG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 7 million. Let's do one guy making like Otto Porter, $6 million. Now, I don't think the Raptors will have to give up a pick in this because they're getting an all-star guy and a really good wing defender in return. I'm just going to say they give up one from
Hmm.
later. Let's try this. Successful. The money matches. Um, and you look at the Raptors. If you make this trade, you've got Kyrie Irving, Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent, Kem Birch off your bench.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a really good trade.
yeah, the Raptors would be really
The
good.
only thing that I can think of that would set that off would be the Raptors asking for more because they are giving up Fred and OG Anunoby. I think maybe they'd ask for a pick or something, or like a young player if that's even possible.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, let's look at it. Let's see. So that trade's made. Let's look at the Raptors roster. Let's say they throw in not Josh Jackson, not Wancho. The problem is they're young guys they really, really like. So let's say they throw in Malachi Flynn
Hmm.
and let's say the Nets give up like a second round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see this happening. That's all my only problem with it though is that's a lot of guys.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like that first one is perfect. Like with just who you had originally. It's just in the real world, I don't think that the Raptors would be so eager to just give those guys up for one player, you know what I mean? Or they'd ask for like a second round pick or something to go along with Kyrie, so they're not just kind of pulling
Okay,
something
so
out of their ass with it.
oh yeah, my bad. I fucked up. The Nets give up a young player.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
mentioned.
yeah, yeah.
They're not going to give up Cam Thomas. That's not happening. They're not going
Nah.
to give up Nick Claxton. They're not going to give up Royce. Markieff Morris is old. Utah's old. I guess Kessler Edwards. Yeah, I mean that works too.
Yeah.
Just to get another guy in the room. Yeah. Oh, wing. Yeah, I get that actually works because he's a wing. You're giving up two wings. You get one back. Yeah, I can see that. These three guys would help the Nets right away.
Yeah,
They
that's what
would.
I'm saying. Like it would be a loss. It would be more of a loss again to the Raptors if they just gave up those guys for Kyrie because now they're out of a good big. You know what I mean? So they kind
Yeah.
of like even yeah, it could really be anything. I personally think that they would ask for more with the Kyrie trade than just Kyrie himself.
Well,
Whether it
remember,
is a
I
young
I had
player.
Seth I have Seth Curry in here too, who's arguably the best shooter in basketball.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Seth Curry, like, I don't know why his name keeps getting thrown in trade rumors. If it's me, I'm not trading him because he shoots the best percentage. I don't know if you knew this. Seth Curry is the all-time leader in 3-point
Yeah,
percentage
three
per
point
career.
percentage. Yeah,
Yeah. Steph is like 7.
yeah.
The reason why Steph's the best is because of the volume and the difficulty. But I just thought I pulled the Raptors out of my ass. But this is probably,
That's a very well balanced trade.
yeah. And how much trouble can Kyrie get into in Canada?
Well, I mean, he could get deported,
Yeah, he could. All
but
right,
no,
so that
that seems like a really well balanced trade. I mean, you said you wanted to do the Lakers. We can do the Lakers.
Yeah, the reason why is because I know LeBron's going to push for it,
Oh yeah,
and if no other team really wants him, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
The Lakers, the Lakers have a real shot at getting him. They really do.
They should get rid of Westbrook. But I don't
Yeah,
think anybody would take Westbrook.
that's who I have them taking, Russ Westbrook, because he's the only guy you can really make the money work with. Because you're
Yeah.
not going to trade AD for Kyrie, you're not going to trade LeBron.
I don't see. I
So
just don't think that Westbrook
yeah,
plays to the amount of money he makes or the amount of money that they say he's worth because he hasn't been playing that well.
yeah, but you got to keep this in mind too. Just 2 years ago, Russ averaged a triple double with Bradley Beal on the Wizards, and
Yeah.
he had like 25, like 11 and 11. He's still good. It's just I don't think the problem with Russ with the Lakers isn't his talent; it's the fit. LeBron's not a great shooter. Anthony Davis isn't a great shooter. You got guys like Patrick Beverly. You're playing with a center like Thomas Bryant, who's not a great shooter. They just they have no shooting
Yeah.
whatsoever. So and
I can see I
yeah,
can see Westbrook and
yeah,
KD back together.
yeah, and so the reason I've Seth Curry thrown in this again. The reason why is Russ is making $47 million a year, so you need like $7 to $10 million from the Nets, including Kyrie, to get there. So that money matches. The Lakers are gonna have to give up probably Max Christie, um, and it's tough. Maybe Wendy Gabriel. So that's three guys, and the Lakers they're gonna have to give up their 2 first-round picks. They don't want to, but they're gonna have to. 2027, 2029. The problem with the Lakers making these trades before is that they've been refusing to give up these picks. But this is their best chance at getting them because next year you're not gonna have the money to lure him in free agency, and LeBron's only getting older, so you might as well get him now.
Yeah.
So if we
Try to get
try
another
this,
champion, or try to get another finals ring under your belt, while you
yeah,
have LeBron.
yeah. So this trade works. The biggest problem with it is you're not really getting anything back unless Russ can channel what he did with the Wizards. And the roster with the Nets is similar to what the Wizards had. You know what I mean? Bradley Beal's your star player, like Kevin Durant. You've got shooting
Yeah.
everywhere. You don't really have much at big. That's where Wendy and Gabriel comes in. They need power forward help off the bench. And you get the 2 first-round picks. Do the first-round picks really matter because you have Kevin Durant now, and these 2027 and 2029 guys aren't even in high school yet? Probably not.
Yeah.
But if the Lakers were to do it, this is probably their best offer.
Mhm.
It's nowhere close to the Raptors' offer, but
Nah,
it's
yeah, no,
nowhere. No.
honestly, and that seems like what they will go for will probably be the Raptors. But then again, there's a whole branch of other teams out there that could that could offer, and we'll see. So
Yeah. So yeah, that the reason why the Raptors offer is probably the best the Nets are going to get. I just don't think the Raptors will do it. They're too good of a franchise. They're too smart of a
yeah,
franchise. The Lakers are a great franchise. They have idiots in the in the front office.
yeah.
So I kind of like that trade. Um, let's go down the list. Let's take a look at some other teams.
Do Oklahoma.
Celtics no, Sixers no, Bucks no, Cavs no, Heat yeah we did, Knicks no, Hawks no, Pacers maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
They have Tyrese Halliburton. If it's me, I'm not trading for Kyrie if I have him, so I'm going to say no. The the Bulls are interesting.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
Bulls are interesting because I mean Lonzo's cool. We've already seen that this roster isn't really working.
Yeah.
How would we do this? So it's obviously going to be Kyrie. Duh.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bulls will move off of Zach LaVine.
No, they wouldn't, and I don't think they should.
Maybe Vucevic.
Yeah,
That's
for a big.
22. They need another like 18 mil. Maybe Lonzo because he hasn't played.
Is he
But you get
injured still?
yeah, Lonzo's been hurt for like a year now. Now I think the Nets are gonna have to give up more.
If Lonzo or when Lonzo comes back, if he's putting in that work, I believe he can come
Mm-hmm.
back and be very good. So like
Yeah,
I see how that trade could work.
yeah.
But I mean,
Lonzo's been great.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just hit or miss really. If he comes back and he isn't as good as he was, then it's a fail of a trade for them. They have to take that risk.
Yep. Uh, I think these two players are enough to get Kyrie. I just you're losing your center, and I mean you've got Drummond, you've got Tony Bradley, I guess. You've got Patrick. You know, maybe do you start Drummond? And the Nets don't really have a center. Oh yeah, they do. De'Aaron Sharp. Yeah, this is interesting. If you're getting De'Aaron Sharp and Kyrie, you're probably gonna need to give up a pick again.
Yeah.
2026, I'd say. Let's try it. Failed consecutive. Okay, yeah, I just have to change the draft pick. Close that. Picks. Let's get rid of this one. Let's say it's a 2024 pick. That one doesn't work either. Do they have no tradable picks? Because I don't know if you knew about this rule, but you can't trade picks in back-to-back years. So if they've made trades with their draft picks,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
they traded 2025, so they can't trade 24 or 26. So I guess it's gonna have to be a 2027 pick. Yeah. So this is an interesting move. You get so now you'd have Kyrie, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and then I guess De'Aaron Sharp is a backup center behind Drummond.
Yeah.
And then the Nets have Lonzo, Seth Curry, Kevin Durant, whatever power forward, Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah. That's not
I
a bad. I could see that team working.
Lonzo's a good shooter. Nick Vucevic is a good shooter. They've got Claxton in defensive because Vucevic isn't a great defender, so you have
Yeah.
Claxton as a backup for crunch time, or you need to come back in a game.
And then obviously Kevin Durant.
Yeah, KD. This isn't bad.
Mm-mm.
This isn't bad. I mean, and you're really not losing much if you're the Bulls, other than Vucevic, because
Yeah,
Lonzo hasn't played for you. Yeah,
Vucevic is crucial.
Lonzo hasn't played for you. So what does it matter giving him up?
How many games did he play with the Bulls before he got injured?
He played like maybe 30 in the beginning of last year, and then he's been hurt since.
Yeah.
So it's like a back spinal thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Bulls kind of got screwed over at the start of this year. I mean, without Lonzo and then Levine was out for a while.
Yeah, and not having a point guard with a guy like Zach LaVine and DeMar, it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, DeMar was
Um,
putting up some banger games at the start of the year. I remember talking about it with you when it first like, but I haven't heard much explosive shit from him. I mean, maybe there has been. I haven't been keeping up too well with
yeah,
them because I mainly the only teams I watch are the Heat, or that's the only team I really follow. And Oklahoma, they're in their own little world. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I
yeah,
mean, Shea puts up 50-point games once in a blue moon,
hmm
and Lou Dort's the all-time greatest. So
yeah.
you just
Lou
can't beat
Dort's
him.
obviously the goat of
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah,
Um, yeah, let's keep going. So the Raptors we did. The Wizards are interesting because they don't have a point guard, but I don't I don't think they have the assets to do it.
yeah. I don't think they had. Yeah,
The Magic probably not.
I, don't-
They like
I don't even know who's on the Magic. I don't like
they've got
Wendell
a
Carter
really
Jr.
they've got a really good young core. I don't see they want to break that up and bring Kyrie in because they're not going to compete with him. The
Yeah,
Hornets know they have LaMelo. The
yeah.
Pistons know they have Cade. Nuggets no. Grizzlies obviously not. Kings obviously not. Pelicans no. Well, hang on. No. They're winning. They're winning with their team
Yeah.
now. I was going to say maybe for CJ McCollum, but no. They're,
Obviously not the Cavs. I mean, their fucking lineup is phenomenal.
yeah, they're good. The Mavs we already did.
Hmm.
The Clippers are interesting. That's another team
Yeah, yeah, that's
because
not bad.
they need elite backcourt play.
Hmm.
So you give up Kyrie, so you're gonna have to give up Norman Powell. Check. You're gonna have
Oh
to give
yeah,
up maybe not Marcus Morris. Yeah, I'd say that's who the Nets would want over Luke Kennard. So you're looking at 16-16. That's 32 mil. Maybe they give up. Now Terrence Mann's good. Maybe they give up Brandon Boston. Trade there. So you're not really getting any role players whatsoever. The Clippers barely have any picks, so it's gonna have to be a 20. Do they have their 26? They don't. So they can't trade that. They can trade their 28. Does this work? Yeah, there's a Clippers trade.
Hmm.
You lose depth, but I mean Kyrie Irving, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard.
yeah, that's yeah,
What
that's a
else
good
do you need?
three.
What else do you
Yeah,
need?
somebody for
Any of
boards.
John Well, bro, you sleep on Ivaka Subac.
I do not sleep on Avika Vicha Zubac.
Yeah,
Nobody knows how to pronounce that guy's name.
Ivica Zubac.
I don't think I don't think that's what it is.
It
His
is.
name his Nah, that's just what the media tells you.
Watch the games. The announcers say Ivica
That's what I'm
Zubac.
saying. They're media, aren't they? His name is probably just super easy. We all just say it wrong.
Yeah, I guess. But this trade would work. So you'd have Kyrie, Paul George, Kawhi. Um, who do they? I know Kawhi plays the four, so you'd have Kyrie, Luke Kennard at your two, Paul George at three, Kawhi at four, Zubac at five. I guess that's really good. And then
That's a good lineup.
they just don't have a lot of bench depth without Marcus Morris and Norman Powell, but you don't really need it
But
with those two.
then again, you're kind of risking that team right there. I mean, Kawhi and Kyrie
Uh
are
huh.
they never show up to their games, so what's up? Or they
Facts.
do, but you know what I mean. They both have that now. They both have that past where it's like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I sneeze 10 feet away from you at practice, and you're gonna walk out. Like,
Yeah.
how do you trust that to even work?
Yeah. All right. So
Isn't Harden another one? Harden was another one that didn't show up to games or practices because he was what, at the strip
no,
club or something.
he just showed up. He just showed up overweight to
Oh
the
yeah.
Nets, and then got traded.
Who's he playing for now?
The Sixers.
Yeah, the Sixers, right?
Yeah, he's there with Tyrese, Tobias, and
My
Embiid.
boy Joel Embiid,
Yeah. All right. So
banging.
I think that's probably all the teams. The Suns, no.
Yeah, nah.
Maybe if Chris Paul were to
Retires.
retire, if he retired this year, maybe. Um, Timberwolves, no.
I can see Chris Paul retiring this year. I mean, he's
Yeah,
always he's a future Hall of Famer, but
first
I
ballot,
don't
no question.
I think it's just too old now for him to catch a ring.
Yeah, their window closed. They had 2 years. Their window's dead.
Yeah.
Um, Timberwolves, no. Jazz, maybe because they've got a lot of really good role players. I just don't see
Yeah.
a reason why. Um, the Warriors, absolutely not. Thunder, no. Their pieces.
Why not the Thunder?
The problem with the Thunder is they've got so many good young pieces that the Nets are
Yeah,
not going to want.
exactly.
The Nets don't
Plus,
want
we have
young.
Lou Dort.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the GOAT. We're not giving him up.
yeah. The Nets don't want young players. They want guys that know that can help contribute to
That
a
are
championship
used
team.
to the
And
pace of the game.
yeah, not even the pace of the game that are used to playoff basketball. The Thunder
Yeah.
haven't made the playoffs playoffs since Russ was there.
Yeah.
But we did the Lakers, Blazers, no, they have Dame, Spurs, no, they're rebuilding, and Rockets, no, they're rebuilding. So yeah, that's all the teams we looked at. Not one,
Looked at like 4 or 5.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. Those are probably the six that are going to be in the running.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it all goes.
I'm
What's
excited to
big
see how
about
it pans out.
this is big right now. But what's going to be even bigger is how Kevin Durant reacts. Because remember, he requested a trade in the offseason.
Yeah.
He decided they didn't trade him. He's still there. Now he's the only guy there. And
Yeah.
if we know anything about Kevin Durant, he's not shy from leaving a
Yeah.
team. Mm-hmm. So the shit's crazy. We're gonna know in a week what's gonna happen. Whether Kyrie's out of there, KD's out of there. We'll find out. But yeah. Any last thoughts about this for you?
Nah, bro, it's just crazy, you know? Like it really was. It was so out of the blue, and
Yeah.
it's fun to make up these scenarios, you know, and see what could happen, and it's exciting to see what's gonna happen because it was a shock. Like I was surprised right off the
Yep.
rip as soon as you said it.
Facts.
So it'll be fun to see, and I don't know. Hopefully the Nets get a balanced trade for it, and the other team they do is gets a balanced trade as well with Kyrie. So
Yep. Yep. I agree.
yep.
But all right. Thanks for joining me, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate the love. Because
Yeah, it was
Anthony's
alright.
out there. Anthony's out there macking right now.
Is he?
He's
What?
macking right now.
Other baddies in the stadium or something?
No, his girl.
Oh,
He's out there
uh,
macking right now.
that's no fun, bro.
Yeah, come on now, with the boys.
Yeah, it's the boys. There's big
Ball
moments,
over,
and the dude's out there.
ball over biddies. Ball over
Uh,
biddies. All right.
or ball for the biddies.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all. It's the day one pod. Appreciate y'all listening. This went a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Broke down some trades. We'll see what's going to go on. Expecting a full podcast back with Anthony in the next 2 days or so. Looking at the Pro Bowl stuff, trade deadline, because this isn't the only guy that's going to be moved. And yeah, like, subscribe on a boat, on a bus, on a plane, wherever you're at. You can get some internet. Watch the show. Leave a like, comment. Thank you, Brandon, for joining me. I appreciate it. We'll get you back on when it's playoff basketball or some crazy shit goes down, and we'll see what goes on.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania!
We gotta talk about WrestleMania at least once, bro. You gotta. I mean, come on. It's the biggest event in sports entertainment history. You gotta have like a quick 30-minute podcast to go over what happened. See, John Cena's back. His match is locked in. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Come on, it's gonna be a good night. I mean, you gotta talk about it.
I'll tell you what right now, okay? If John Cena has a title match, we'll talk about it. All right?
We'll see. I don't know, bro. I'm thinking about starting my own podcast. The Day Two podcast. It's just gonna be based around wrestling. So AEW, NJPW or whatever, the Japan Wrestling, WWE, ECW, WCW. All right, we'll get all into it.
We're gonna have a cold beer. Go to
Yeah, what?
WrestleMania. Walk out.
What?
WWE champion.
And that's the bottom line.
Stone
Stone
Cold
Cold
said
said so. All right. Thanks
All
for
right,
having me
y'all.
on the show.
No problem, buddy. Talk to y'all
Peace out,
soon.
man. Yes, sir.